Caleb ignored his father's last voicemail, not because he hated him, not because he didn't care, but because he believed there would always be time to listen later. 3 days after the message was sent, his phone rang again. This time, it was not his father calling. And when Caleb finally listened to that voicemail, he dropped to his knees and cried like a child who had just realized he waited too long. Caleb Turner hadn't spoken properly to his father in almost 7 years. Not in anger, not in screaming fights, not in dramatic goodbyes, just silence. The quiet kind of distance that grows when pride outlives patience. His father, Robert Turner, was once a simple man, a factory worker, a mechanic, a man who fixed things with his hands because words never came easily to him. Caleb, on the other hand, was different. He was ambitious, college educated, fast talking, big dreaming. When Robert valued stability, Caleb chased speed. Both loved each other, but neither knew how to speak the other's language. The last real conversation between them happened on a warm summer evening. Caleb had just dropped out of college to start a tech startup with his friends. Robert didn't understand. "You're throwing away a secure future," Robert said. Caleb snapped back, "You're afraid of everything. You never dared to dream bigger than this small town." Robert's face hardened. "I worked my whole life so you could have options. And now you want to control those options," Caleb shouted. Silence fell, heavy. Then Robert said quietly, "If you walk this road, don't expect me to fund your mistakes." Caleb stormed out that night and never properly came back. Caleb moved to the city, chased investors, worked sleepless nights. Success came slowly. His startup failed, then another, then another. Each failure hardened him. He told himself he succeeded on his own, that he didn't need his father. Meanwhile, Robert watched from a distance. He followed his son through social media, through small town gossip, through any mention of his name. He wanted to call many times, but pride kept his phone heavy in his pocket. In the 7th year of their silence, Robert was diagnosed with late-stage heart disease. The doctor spoke carefully. "Time is unpredictable now." Robert nodded calmly. He had lived his life working with machines that failed suddenly. At home, he looked at the framed photo of a teenage Caleb on his dusty shelf. And for the first time in years, he dialed his son's number. It went to voicemail. Robert froze. He cleared his throat and began to speak. His voice was weak but steady. "Hey, son, it's Dad. I know it's been a long time. I don't know if you'll listen to this. I just wanted to say I'm proud of you, even when I didn't understand you. I don't want to be right anymore. Caleb, I just want to be your father again." There was a pause, a breath. "If you're busy, that's okay. I just wanted you to know I always believed you were stronger than me, and I am sorry." The recording ended. Caleb saw the missed call later that night. He didn't play the message. He told himself, "I'll listen tomorrow." And tomorrow never came. 3 days later, Caleb was in a meeting when his phone vibrated. Unknown number. He ignored it. Minutes later, another call. This time, he stepped out. "Hello?" A nurse's voice answered. "Is this Caleb Turner?" "Yes, who's this?" "I'm calling from Green Valley Hospital. Your father was admitted last night." Caleb felt his chest tighten. "What happened?" "He passed away this morning." The world didn't end. It simply went silent. Caleb drove back to his hometown for the first time in 7 years. The roads felt smaller. The houses felt older. The memories grew heavier with every mile. The funeral was quiet, simple, just the way Robert had lived. A few co-workers, old neighbors, and one son who stood apart. Caleb didn't cry, not yet. That night, alone in his childhood bedroom, Caleb finally pressed play. His father's voice filled the room. Every word cracked something open inside him. When the message ended, Caleb sat frozen. Then his body folded. He dropped to the floor and sobbed, not softly, not quietly, but with the grief of a boy who had waited far too long to forgive. A week after the funeral, Caleb's aunt handed him a small worn notebook. "Your father wrote in this after you left," she said. Inside were years of unfinished letters. One entry stood out. "I don't know how to talk to my son anymore. I don't know how to tell him I was wrong without sounding weak. I miss him every day." Caleb's hands shook. The man he thought was distant had been quietly broken all along. Months later, Caleb sold his failing company. He walked away from the noise, from the chase, from the illusion of the control. He began mentoring young entrepreneurs, teaching them the things success never taught him: how to fail with humility, how to succeed without arrogance, how to forgive before it's too late. Above his desk, he framed a printed transcript of that final voicemail. Years later, on his father's birthday, Caleb wrote a letter and read it aloud at his grave. "Dad, you were right about many things and wrong about some, but I was wrong about the most important thing. I thought silence protected my strength, but it only protected my pride. I wish I had listened sooner." Some messages arrived too late, not because they were sent late, but because they were heard too late. We believe we have time. We always believe there's another call, another visit, another chance to say what matters, until there is not. Your pride may feel powerful today, but one day it will feel unbearably heavy. If someone in your life has tried to reach out, don't save the message for later. Listen now, forgive now, call now, because one day the only voice you'll have left is the one you waited too long to answer.